Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week of Hex Foodies live stream. Finbear should be coming on with me soon, I think, because I saw him active in some chats. I need to take one of the links and drop it in a few of the groups. I have been out at a coffee shop. Please excuse me for my tardiness. What do we have to talk about today? Markets went down yesterday quite a bit, and there were people in quite a few of the chitter trats, Twitter Spaces. They were saying like god awful things. Like one guy was like, "Hey, I got my wife to put all her money in Luna, and then I haven't told her yet what I've learned about Luna." What's up, Belly? Hey, Belly, I really like your logo. It's so simple. What is that? Is that a fat pickle? What's up, Terrafin? Terrafin, I couldn't figure out how to spell your name earlier. Otherwise, I would have tagged you on the tweet that I sent out. Hey, Finbear, are you coming in? I bet you're in the background right now. No, you're not. Oh gosh, he said the word I can't. I can't fit in with all my plants. Oh, darn it. In my streaming room. He wants to hang in chat. Dude, you can hang in chat, no problem. We need to talk about Inviting Freedom's tree stuff, the tree planting that happened this last week, and what all she saw in the tweets, and then how we're safe in the Richard Hart ecosystem from the rest of the market. And it's so silly. Like, I went to a libertarian meetup. And they do this once a month. I think it's Tuesday nights, actually. And the last time I was there, some guy turned to me and said, "Well, what's the difference between Terra Luna and Hex?" And I didn't have an answer for him, but he was telling me that Terra Luna was like giving them so much returns. Like they're at 2,000%. And I was like, for the last 3 years, I've been at 3,000 or something. But even more than that, probably. But if we're talking about percentages, then maybe not. So there was a lot of momentum in this guy's talk about it, and I didn't really have a way to battle with it. So I was just like, this is what Hex is. Uh, this is what it is. And then somebody in Twitter or something attacked me for like Hex beliefs and telling me that Luna was better. And so on April 4th, I tweeted out Luna's backing assets are a little bit shady or something like that. This is instead, you should go to Hex. And for this reason, this reason, this reason. And well, I hate to say it, but Terra Luna is having problems right now. And over there in the Twitter Spaces last night and yesterday, all during the day, people had their funds locked up. They thought they had exit routes. They thought they had it planned, but everything froze and they couldn't do anything. And then as the hours would go on with the founder not speaking up about the situation, it just made people say, "Oh, it's a rug." I actually don't know the update on that yet today. Terrafin's like, "Wrecked plebs," in the chat. Finbear's doing all sorts of stuff outside, I guess. He's he's got so many plants. It's overflowing his live stream room. Hey Finbear, will you do me the favor and drop the link in a few of the chats? I would deeply appreciate it. I'm gonna go on to Twitter Spaces and track down inviting. Let's do that right now. And then me personally, I went out and purchased a tree. So this event, the tree planting event, the Arbor Day, Hex Arbor Day on May 7th, it sparked within me the continued ambition to just go ahead and buy this certain tree that I've had my eye on for a while at the nursery. It's called a Montezuma cypress, and so it looks like a cypress. I believe that it has less water necessities than a true cypress, and I want it to like tower over my backyard behind the house here. I've got a very small house front to back, and on the backside I'm creating a work area, a workstation. So I want the thing to just like from the front, I want you to see that tree just towering up in the middle of the block. I've told you guys I live in a downtown environment. Hey Eco Build, hey Hex and More. GTSY, what does that mean? Cool. Hex and More is saying that they met me in Vegas and have been watching permaculture stuff since. Sweet. Keep going with that. Look at Jack Spearco is somebody that Finbear has turned me on to. So like I love the energy of Jack Spearco right now. I was heavily influenced by Paul Wheaton, who has a property up in Montana. And before I met him and visited the property, I listened to his podcast for about 2 years. So you could find podcasts about permaculture and organic farming and food and education, and just on and on and on. These people who create podcasts, they do it for free. They have a message to tell people, and it's so important that they have to get it out there and spread the love to everybody and change the world. So I love podcasts so much. Now, there is a bit of marketing on the back end of that. They might have commercials, they might have something for for you to join them in, to enroll with them in. But a lot of these early goers who don't have shit to market, it's really, really enjoyable. And what I love about podcasts is it's like you're another person in on a conversation. That's what I love about it. You're right then and there with them. All right, inviting. I'm coming after you.
On the news now that everyone's kind of like glossing over, like, okay, onward.
So this is a Twitter space.
That's what they killed him for.
Right now it's called hex.com/pulsechain.com/pulsex.com.
Sent it to the secretaries of most
Twitter spaces are not.
And he got knee deep in their network. And I'm like, holy shit, that is some balls. Like,
they do conform to like keep the content hex related and crypto related, but it sometimes expands outside of that. So this is Twitter Spaces. If you go on Twitter,
yeah, I remember hearing those stories.
At the top on your on your mobile device, at the top of Twitter, it will list the spaces that other people that you follow are inside of, and so you can just click on those spaces. At any time, somebody can change the title of the space. I've told you before that there's like 12 speakers at a time possible.
So now that the guy's arrested, I can talk about
I
it.
just
But
asked for a microphone. So you have to request a mic. This is how it's different than Telegram. And now I'm connecting. So
some of the stuff that McAfee put out, so it actually helped.
Whenever you connect, it has to bring you to live time instead of a little bit delayed. And sometimes with the reception right here, it's a little slow.
Do you mean Goldstein? No. I gotta remember his name now. Hispanic guy. He got arrested, I think about 2 years ago now. It's been just over.
I'm gonna interrupt them just a second.
You don't have to say his name. Yeah, he got arrested for
goodness. Okay, in the chat.
Harassment, which was part of my lawsuit when I sued them.
Finbear says he got a cherry trees from Canada
he was embezzling some money
coming.
from the companies somehow,
Apple trees too.
Married on top of that. He had hotel rooms across the U.S. with clothing and escorts and just all kinds of shit.
He's gonna do something as soon as the sap starts rising.
This is during the time frame that the
This is why we need you on live.
trying to chase down everybody for copyright infringement in the .NET era. I wonder what he was up to. I see him posting about his family right now.
I want to interrupt him so bad.
I know he works on projects. No, he's kind of fucking pissed off today. Yesterday, I think it was the day before, depending on the timeline.
Finbear spammed
part of his company.
the link.
They agreed to testify against him just because they couldn't.
Oh, down here in Texas, we're going to have a meetup on Friday. CZ Hexing says that the meetup is going to be on Friday. I think today is the last day for us to tell her if we're coming or not. Over in the Hex Texas group, we've got 101 members.
When your own PM from your own country comes out to apologize on national television that they fucked up, that should tell you something. When he videotaped them pulling him into custody, that was hilarious.
Hey guys, real fast, if Inviting Freedom is out there and capable, please, Inviting Freedom, come to YouTube, the Hex Foodies live chat. I'd like to go over this this last Hex Arbor Day. I appreciate it. Thanks for allowing me to interrupt. Sweet.
Arbor Day.
Okay.
What was the name again? Hex Freedom, or what was the name? Inviting Freedom.
In Inviting Freedom, she organized the Hex Arbor Day. That was last Friday and then or Saturday and continuing throughout the weekend. Right now I'm on a live stream, the Hex Foodies group. And so that's on YouTube. And what I'm trying to do is request that Inviting Freedom come over here and give us an update on all the trees that she influenced getting into the ground.
And he could build what channel exactly are you guys streaming now? I can post it to the top.
I'm live right now, like in front of a camera. So I'm trying to figure out like what's the easiest, best way to do it. But if you just Hex Foodies.
I'm not subscribed yet. What's that? Okay, we'll find it. I'll find it. Yeah. And when it comes back, we'll try and get her over there. And everybody over and give it a like. all that stuff.
Hex. Of course, my phone is glitching, messing up. Oh, you want to die on me too? You want to die on me, phone? Yeah. You guys ever have it to where like you grab technology and you're like, I'm going to make it do this really fast because there's a limited amount of time right here in order to capture this. And then boom, your phone's just like black. It's like, no, I'm not going to play this game right now. I'll do it in like 10 minutes, but right now I can't help you document that. That happens to me all the time. I swear it's my energy that comes out of my body and goes into this. Okay, what do we have to talk about? People getting wrecked. This cool jacket I have on. How I left my lighter out in the lawn and I can't light our candle, but I got a backup. Can you guys see that? All right. What's your plan for the fork? May Hex be with you. Hex be with you. That's what a lot of people were saying this last week. Plan for the fork. Get P-Hex. That's what I want. People are throwing around all sorts of numbers. Somebody yesterday bought $3 million worth of Hedron. Somebody saw it at the low. $3 million worth of Hedron is something like 2 trillion Hedron. Not million, not billion, but trillion. I looked at the numbers and stuff, and I thought that was really excellent. It looks as though it was at the bottom, but that's really interesting. So Hedron's at 5 zeros and a 116, I believe. I think I'm gonna have to do more to track down Inviting Freedom. Yesterday, I took a bunch of pieces that were already assembled pieces of wood that used to be railing of a friend's deck. A friend of mine, an older friend of mine, he loves projects, and he had this cedar deck, and it had gotten old enough, and it's on a cliffside. So like you got to update this stuff, stay on it. So he has the cedar deck, and he took it apart like a year ago, and he asked me if I wanted the stuff. So I went ahead and hauled it off, not knowing exactly what I was going to do with it. Now I'm pretty sure that I'm going to turn it into lattice stuff in order to pin trees to and allow the stuff to grow. Espiary, I think is what they call it. Espalier. Pinning it to a wall, right? To where you have a tree growing, planned. The limbs are like perfect distance away from each other. The fruit can just drop right there for you to see it. So I'm gonna sort of play with the architecture of the house and put these as shields right in front of the windows, on the other side of a walking path from the window. And so this is just my idea, and I don't think I'm going to use fasteners. Instead, I think I'm going to use some glue. Cut this off. Yeah, you get it. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun and maybe like do an interesting design inside of a framework, and then pin the tree to it. So I've already got the tree in the ground, right in the place, knowing that I was going to follow through with this. But in the meantime, for those same pieces of assembled railing, that cedar wood that stands up against the test of time of weathering, I grabbed those railings from where I had them stored in the back, and I grabbed a few limestone blocks. That's what we have in this area, tons of limestone. And I had picked up cheap off of Facebook Marketplace a bunch of these limestone blocks. I got like 2 truckloads, my pickup truck worth, for $100, I think it was. And so just some lady just didn't want to deal with it. Every once in a while, keep your eye on uh, Facebook Marketplace. Every once in a while, there's something there that's raw material that you could acquire for pretty cheap. Um, Sweet, J Soul made it over. Mix, aka that is you. All right, Terrafin and Finbear are holding down the fort. So, so I took these railings and I took the limestone blocks. I put the limestone blocks stack over here and a stack over here, and I put the railing over the top of it, and I draped my existing cucumber plants um, in through it or over the top of it, or I grabbed a dead piece of something and I led the cucumber over to it. And I'm just using this grid or this baluster, this old baluster. I'm just using it for the time being. I'm gonna rearrange this later on or reuse the wood and stuff, but the cucumber plants need it now. So I needed to deliver. And I guess other melons are going to need it after that. So, oh, what else? What else we got going on here at my household? This is not Hex Foodies related, but I installed a bar overhead in my backyard the other day, and I've been visiting it every day, and I love it. So please, guys, think about having workout situations within every room or every space in your yard, so that whenever it is that you're just going from one room to another or one place to another, that you could get a little bit of a workout and exercise some things that you haven't exercised. And so whenever it is that I'm grabbing this overhead bar, I'm doing some pull-ups, I'm gripping well, I'm really pumping myself up, getting my blood flowing, but I'm allowing muscles and tendons to align differently, get some air in there. Okay, did I say air? I don't know what I meant by that. Dead hangs is what Terrafin said. So the idea is like, if you can hang for a minute, you're doing really well. Really, really well, actually. We could ask Jim Rat about that. Okay, so Hex is at 16 cents. Yesterday, it dipped down to 14 cents. Yesterday was the a huge dip for all of crypto markets, and probably today is a bit of a bounce back from that. Let's see. What else do I have going on? Oh, I just sent some money in the mail. You're not supposed to do that. So there's a young lady up at Wheaton Labs who often posts really awesome pictures that are happening in her day-to-day life there at Wheaton Labs. I think she's been there for like 9 months, approaching a year, of course. And whenever it is that the people over at Wheaton Labs post pictures, they get rewarded slowly. If they reach like 100 days worth of picture posting, then, or maybe it's 90 days or something, I don't know. Then they're able to take a honeypot worth of money. And each one of them are able to do this and arrive at the honeypot and empty the honeypot and the next person. So one of her like personal requests were like, "Hey, if there's anybody out there who would like to gift me a hat, please do." I bet it's getting pretty freaking sunny up there, and they're all throughout the. They're always outside. Yeah. always, always outside when you're a boot at Wheaton Labs. So anyway, I went looking for a hat and I couldn't find a good one. They were either made with questionable materials or were like way too big. I guess like everybody was out there buying hats recently because it has been sunny here. So I just sent some money in the mail, cash. I don't care what anybody says. It's fun to send cash in the mail, and it's freaking fun to receive it, right? Do you guys remember getting uh, cards in the mail with cash inside of them? Oh my goodness. I remember some splendid days um, being a youth and getting stuff from like godparents. Yeah, that's sweet. Okay. Terrafin's like, heart. Yeah, sorry I was late today, guys. I was at a coffee shop. He's doing his dance.
And trying to get your attention. How's everybody doing?
I am great. I think everybody's doing fine.
Yeah, oh man, the room is like full of seedlings,
What is
so
this?
it's really difficult to find
So
like place.
so it
This
took
is
you
like
like 20
right
minutes
next to.
to clear.
No,
to
first
clear
I
an
was
area
like,
to
I'm
sit
not
down?
even like. First I was like, I'm not even gonna because it was a bit of a hassle. But then I couldn't leave you hanging.
You
Like
had to dehydrate
even
your
even
microphone
the
before you started?
like even even the Australians have done 100 episodes already. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna leave you hanging.
Dude, we're at 40 or so. 26. I think I mentioned, we're at half a year.
Yeah.
I think we're at 40 now. If not, we're at 39.
Yeah. Let's let 50 just slip by. Oh jeez, guys. 30 cubic meters of dirt just appeared in my yard when I was doing my thing. Like doing other stuff elsewhere. I came back. Oh, that's quite a big pile of shit in my yard. Dirt. I say shit very loosely. I have to be more precise. But it's all dirt. Need to still find a few cubic meters of compost and a little bit of cardboard, and we should be up and building the beds in no time. I'm probably gonna remember when I said I'm gonna have all the trees fell down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably
You're gonna hire somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the biggest logs and I'm gonna make beams out of them, and I'm gonna fiddle some freaking outside summer house kitchen type of a thing, because why not?
So I was about to ask you.
Tariffin, man, disgusting. He says I remind him of the human centipede. You mean the dude, the inventor guy? I do not like to have that image in my mind. Thank you very much.
I was gonna ask you this week, how the hell do I hollow out a log? I'm trying to play around with this idea
which direction?
of housing bees in a log. So I make
Yeah,
the bee
okay. Well,
house out of a log.
there's
So I have to
I got
pull out
that.
the
That's
insides.
easy.
Okay, so
that's fairly easy.
So I've got one that's like 20 inches tall. I've got a log that's 20 inches tall, and I'm trying to get all the way through it. And so yesterday I went and bought a bit that's an inch wide, and I used two different amounts of battery, full batteries, drilling through this yesterday, and I actually made it through. So I'm really excited about my progress. But whenever it was that I was first attempting this, I had a smaller bit that I just had laying around. And so maybe it was like half an inch wide. and I would go and like drill. It was smaller or it was less shallow. It was more shallow. And so I would get that in as far as I could, and then I would take my
Okay, but
carpenter's
listen.
pick. Hold on, let me
Yeah.
explain my whatever. And I would
Yeah.
chisel away, right? But once I
Yeah.
reached the heartwood, like the harder wood of the interior of this tree, then or log, then I would have problems there with like peeling it away and
Yeah,
like
it doesn't want to
breaking
break
the
loose that
fibers
easy.
down at the bottom.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lignin is pretty tight in
So
the
I
center
was
part.
thinking
But
about
if you have a hole
asking
already,
a woodworker or like a retired sheriff that's over here. I was going to ask him like, hey, do you have anything in your wood shop that could help me out? But
mm,
instead I was already out and about, and I just went over to Home Depot and I
dude,
got the
dude,
biggest, longest. It's 17 inches long is
that's
the
nice.
bit that's an inch wide, and I got through
That's
it 3
massive.
times yesterday. So
Okay,
please enlighten
well,
me.
hear me out.
Yes.
The answer is right there next to your head. You set that fucker on
Microscope.
fire. No,
Really?
you burn it from the middle. That it's
I was thinking about
absolutely the
that.
easiest way. Yeah,
I was
just
thinking
set
about
it
it.
on fire. You could even get away with just drilling one hole if you had like a metal tubing of something like 3 feet or something, so you don't burn yourself. And
Yeah.
you could have like
I could
low
just set up bricks.
pressurized air and have just it like whooshing like an old gentleman's asshole where it's always farting like little bit like a polite little, yeah. And you just point that uh, end of the tube to exactly where the fire is and just burn it through first and then let it sort of burn for a while until it chars everything in the middle, because you're going to
Yeah.
create, yeah, that's exactly where bees want to live, inside a tree trunk that is dead because a lightning struck it and it burned and it's a hollow trunk. So that's exactly what they're looking for.
I
Of course, you can
wonder.
clean it up and stuff, but it's like it's hydrophobic if it's charred on the inside. So it's not like a wooden box if it's actual coal. It behaves differently. It has different like
Texture to the side,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, it's different, but it also acts differently in relation to water.
Ooh, yeah, good
Mm,
call.
hydrophobic.
Little bit different.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah, I
have to
like
go
that
and
idea.
burn it now, but you can burn it later this evening
Oh,
if you're nice.
I was thinking about posting a
You can
picture. I was
light
thinking
it,
about bringing it inside,
dude.
showing everybody.
Light it when Richard starts streaming, and just keep it going. Just a small fire, like small kindlings in the. You can leave it standing, and hang around it so it doesn't completely burst into flames.
Okay,
So
so
keep it small and in the center of the log, and
do
try
you
to get it to go deep.
do you think I should flip it? Do you think I
You
should?
could,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
could, yeah, you could
Another
flip
thing.
it every now and then.
Another thing. There's a
Or
door.
you could start it from the base and then turn it sort of upside down on like small supports and have it sort of burn up through the holes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Another thing is the design that I'm looking at. It's in the Hex Foodies chat if anybody wants to see it.
Oh yeah, I
t.me
saw
forward
that.
slash Hex
Yeah.
Foodies. By the way, we do this this live stream weekly at noon Central US, Tuesdays. It has a door. This design has a door to it, and I don't know
Yeah, that's
how
so
to
cool.
get the door there without creating a large hole to stick a Sawzall through, and then I could edge the door. So I don't want that large amount of space. I don't want to lose that large amount of space where a drill would go through in order to get the saw
Mm.
in. So how could
Yeah.
I very clearly, like,
Saw a door out.
and be able to
Well,
put it back? Yeah,
that's
exactly.
then you just need to, like, if you have like a what's it called, like a skill saw, for instance,
I do.
where it does like this sort of
Zero,
yeah,
zero. Yeah.
it does like a back and forth motion. It's not like a precipitating saw, but like it has this stupid short like
Oh, we call
about
that Sawzall here.
yeah. So if you
Saws
have
all.
if you have one of those, you can
Yeah, but how do I
you can just
insert it?
crank it at full speed and sort of walk it into the log.
I th-
So
I
you
th-
sort of ramp it into the log, so that the blade makes room for itself as you turn the blade to go like perpendicular to the surface.
yeah, I'm thinking a circular saw to start to actually get all the way in.
Yeah,
So I just
yeah. Like
lower a
it depends
circular
on
saw
like
into it.
it all, a lot of it depends on what you're willing to accept as a loss, because like a circular saw you're gonna lose 3.2 millimeters on both sides, so that's already like you're missing like 6.5 millimeters in overall width if you cut it with a circular saw on both sides.
Just what I do not want is a huge hole, 4 holes in order to start the box being cut out, and
Oh
then
yeah.
and then I
you-
take that, there's
yeah,
just hollow.
there's plenty of ways we can work a blade in there, or you could get like a plunge router with a small 1.5 millimeter or 2 millimeter bit, and just use that and just route it with the plunge router.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a router.
Yeah, but it's cool. Everybody should get a router.
Yes. I
You should
actually
have a
think
router.
I did buy a router. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't have the bit that you're talking about, where
Yeah.
it would be so thin of a bit. I'm gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
if you already have a router, then the bit is like $15 or something.
Yeah. And then do you think I'm gonna like break it as I'm like trying to push it this way? Because it's gonna be a thin bit.
No. You just go down with it, and then when you're at the depth you want to be, you just move sideways, and the bit is designed in a way where the entire sort
can
of the
take it
long
on.
side of the bit is a sort of a cutting edge, because it's it's whirling around like 28,000 rhythms. If that'll take your finger out in less than a second.
Are you gonna make a bee house of any sort? Are you gonna make a bird
I
house,
was
bee house, a squirrel house?
Well, we got like a shitload of stuff to do, but I'd really like to see if I could try to lure some of the bees to move into some kind of a what's it called? One of these like a lure hive. Basically, it's like a bucket with a lid, and there's a hole at the bottom, and you leave them somewhere in the
Okay.
woods, and hope that a swarming
Catch a
bee
swarm.
colony finds it. Yeah.
Sweet. Hey, Hexy Bastard is in ghost format.
Yo, what? Am I actually in the show? Hello, guys.
Oh my
What's up, man?
god!
Yo, that's weird. Where am I? I've got my
Where are
camera
you,
off,
man?
but that usually I still get a square. Where's my square, man?
If you didn't put your camera on when you came in, you don't get a square. You get guard
What?
mode. If you want, you can grant me a couple of wishes now that you're on guard mode.
To be fair, this does feel like God mode.
Yeah.
I can just be like the fly
It's
on the
ghost mode.
wall.
Yeah. Well, if you can manage, go to Davin's place and blow out that fucking candle.
Yeah, see if you can do that, bitch.
Man, I know I said this last time, but Davin, your setup is getting absolutely sweet, man. It looks
If-
so good.
Yeah.
If it was dark outside, then you would see all my
Mm.
glows. My orange
Ooh.
glow over here, my green glow. You see
Yeah.
it? It's like down
Yeah.
there.
Man, looks good.
Hexy, you changed your Twitter logo thing to like fat bastard or something.
Yeah.
That was funny.
From Gold member, or well, from Austin Powers, should I say, because he was in the second
Oh.
and the third one. Yeah, I did it
Yeah.
because of the crypto fitness challenge that I got invited to take part in that I'm not taking part in at the moment. The thing is, I've gained weight as well. I'm still kind of skinny, but I have gained weight over the last 6 months. I need to
well.
sort it
Yeah,
out,
but
man.
you don't look unfit or anything like that. So there's
It's only because
probably
you never see me standing up, bro.
I did see the picture from when you dented the Lambo, and you did seem a bit sort of. But I was
Yeah,
maybe
look,
you're
that's-
just
that's
sad
what made
for
me
denting,
realise,
like an
actually, was-
expensive car.
Your
No,
hips
that's what
just
made me
hit the
realize,
logo?
man. When I seen those photos, I was like, "Fuck, man, I actually look a little bit tubby there." Like, not really enjoying that very much, but yeah, I'm gonna sort it out. I've just been eating really bad food, man. Like, that's probably my problem. Plus,
Well, my issue is I have to like go all the way into something in order to be like, okay, I got my fix, I'm good, and then I get out of it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you have
I
that similar problem
I
where it's just like
just
you get hooked on something, and it's just like, okay, well, let's allow this to take its course, and then in healthy time, I'll pull it back.
yeah.
well, I had last time that happened to me. I had to learn bowling. Like it took me a couple of months. Me and a friend of mine, we went bowling after work once, and that was so much fun. We were like, we're gonna do this again next week, because he was from another town, and he was always like once a week he was in like my hometown, so we went bowling that evening. And then I was like, man, we kind of suck at this. Like, I want to get a bowling ball, and like there has to be somebody who can teach us. Like this fucking this classless stuff won't fly. So we found a dude from the bowling alley, surprisingly, who came to teach us, and we paid him, and he was like, "What the fuck, man? I don't want your money." And I was like, "I don't care. You're having it. Like, no, I don't believe that anybody has to do anything just for the love of the game." So we were his first paying customers. That was like freaking 15 years ago or something. Dude has a business now. He's like he does it for a living. I don't know if I haven't spoken to him for a long time, so I don't know where he got the spark, but I do know that we were the first guys ever to pay him money for teaching what he
That's
what he
sweet.
wanted to do anyways.
You really put the fire under his ass. I used to also go bowling after work. Me and a guy would substitute teach over at the high school when we first got out of college, and the high school the bowling alley was on the way back from the high school. So we had a great time.
Yeah,
We kind of waste the small amount of money.
So
what's
your high score like in one frame?
I don't know, like 230s or something.
Yeah,
like I could get some turkeys and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, mine was my mate got 235 eventually. I think I'm 220, 225 or 222. I'm gonna have to go through my pictures and check it now.
My mom and her brother meet halfway from Austin to Dallas in order to play bowling. So family gets down on bowling around here.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, there's a lot of history that goes into why we have 10-pin bowling instead of 9-pin bowling. Because I think 9-pin bowling was sort of brought over by the Dutch, but what they did was they gambled on it a lot, and so basically that turned into like a legalized form of gambling. So they made it illegal for a long time to have 9-pin bowling alleys at all. So they added the extra pin just to sort of go around the rules in a creative way. So they, instead of an ICO, they had a sacrifice period, if you catch my drift. So the reason we have the 10th pin in the stack of pins is just to circumvent some freaking gambling rules from New York State or something.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, that goes way back.
So if I go to the bowling alley right now,
might also be 100% historically inaccurate. So I wouldn't change any of my answers if there's a pop quiz or something on the grounds of me saying so. But that's how I remember it went.
so I have 10 down the road, right?
Yeah,
Got
everybody
10.
does.
It's
Yeah.
it's 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, but if you like, you can Google 9-pin bowling, and it's a completely different game. The ball it looks like it's maybe the size of a grapefruit or something.
I've played this before.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun.
I've played
Yeah.
this before. There's an
And
arcade
the
near
pins
where I live.
the pins
and-
are like really tall and narrow, sort
Mm.
of almost like
the
logs.
balls don't have holes in them. The one that I played.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you just kind of like, it's like
and you
what's the
fling
name
it
of
really hard.
You played it physically, not on an arcade, right?
Yeah.
You just played at the arcade.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was just at an arcade. Yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah.
should clear that up. But yeah, I've played this before. It's quite fun. It's hard
Yeah.
to do though, because like it's a bit like, well, it is the game bowls, if you guys know it, and you just fucking like have to hold this massive nutsack and roll it along.
Do y'all ever play bocce? Right? Is that what it's called? The Italian, where
Yeah,
Bocce.
with the metal.
Yeah. Y'all ever
metal
play
balls.
that?
Yeah.
I've seen
it's
people
fun.
play it. I never have played it.
Yeah. I think
can
it's
throw
called
some things.
petanque or something.
I can
Tongue.
throw some things near some other things. Hey, guess what? We are now a podcast.
Oh,
How,
nice.
how so?
I went to a free listing website. They allow for 90 days, they allow you to upload 200 hours worth. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Erase that. 90 days, 2 hours worth. So
Okay.
if we were to like cut our segments down to like 30 minutes, then I could continue to upload them. Or if every like month and a half or month, I want to just take one of the audios, just our best show, then I could put that up as the podcast. What I'm trying to do is like maximize what we're already doing and branch out in other ways. So same content packaged a different way so that people could find us. And so I forgot to mention that earlier whenever I was praising podcasts as being a wonderful thing. But yeah, I found this service that allows you to like if you wanted to post as many hours as you want, then it would take like $20 a month or something. And so I just wanted to try them out and get the dang podcast listed on Apple podcast software.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, because whenever it is that you submit it to Apple, you have to have an Apple ID. And so I have an Apple phone, Apple ID. So that all works for me, but they're going through the process of looking at the first podcast right now. But in the meantime, there were other places, other directories that I was able to get the podcast listed in. And I went and put a link in the Hex Foodies chat, t.me/Hex Foodies, of one of the places where it was posted. And so I just called it Crypto Garden. With the idea that people would see crypto and be like, oh, I might give this a try. And then they're like garden. And so maybe they
I've
connect
been
with
in
that
a
idea. Maybe
garden.
they don't.
Yeah.
So like something that I've been witnessing in the Twitter spaces is we can change the title of the space so often. So you can always play with the terms that are wanted or accepted at the meantime, or at the current time in the market. So like people, if you put NFTs in it, then people who see that love it. But if you put something that's like challenging, like Next Step Finance, you just have all sorts of people flow into the space and want to talk about stuff. And then everybody's got a different thing that they're an expert at. It's a lovely conversation if everybody stays on topic and keeps their ego out of it. You know, sometimes you do
Hey,
have wars.
I
Yes.
this just came to my mind, so I have to bring this up. Did you guys happen to catch the Discourse Syndicate latest episode with what was it that meme? Was it that meme thing again?
I didn't.
It just
They
came
did a
out
stream
like
earlier today.
a few hours ago.
Yeah, I didn't see that one yet. I
Episode
still haven't watched the Wales.
127, Crypto Pepsi, and in there's a part where Papa B wants to talk to Wales about the behaviors of some of the newer Hexicans. And oh my god, I laughed so fucking hard. Like, you guys need to see it. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna timestamp it into the comments, but you're gonna have to watch the whole thing. It takes like maybe 7 minutes to listen through the whole rant. But
Is it
that
Wake Up with
freaking-
Hex?
No, it's
No. Okay. I always
no,
like
it is.
watching
It
the
is.
Wake Up. Yeah.
with Hex one.
Yeah, Papa
episode
B and a few of the other
127.
guys, they do
Yeah,
really
Wales
well
only.
back and forth.
Yeah. Oh, I almost drove off the road. It was so fucking hilarious. I was like, water was coming out of my eyes.
What were
and I
they?
was like,
What were
"Dude,
they
I
on
can't
about
fucking-"
specifically?
I don't wanna spoil it, because if
Yeah.
I like it was a conversation between all of them, and it was a hilarious. Oh my god, so juicy, so juicy. You're gonna love it. It
Oh,
was
that's
so
funny
good.
as fuck, man.
Yeah.
I often worry, like with my streams, that at some point I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, because like I just say what comes into my head, and sometimes it's
I'm
quite.
hoping it would happen like sooner rather than later.
I
Because
know that I've
as
pissed
soon
someone
as
off
we can,
before.
yeah, we just like I would just rather just not have any reputation at all to have to worry about, so I could live a bit more freely, just not care.
Oh, bro, like in reality, I actually like reputation wise, I don't really give a shit. Like if
Yeah,
people decided that they hated me,
That's
I'd
an
be like, okay,
absolute
cool.
that's an absolute waste of life to
Yeah.
spend it thinking
I
about
couldn't
what
give a
other
fuck less.
people think about you.
If I got if I got expelled from the community somehow, I'd just be like, all right,
Later,
bye.
Still holding my
I'll
Hex,
build
right?
my- I'm gonna
I'm still
fork
a
England
Hexican
anyways.
though, whether
Okay,
you fucking
all right.
like it or not.
It's not that you give up everything; you just give up.
No, I
whoever's
wouldn't
the
sell
rep
or
at the
anything like
time.
that.
Yeah.
God, no. I just maybe worst thing you'd see from me is I just stop streaming, I guess.
Yeah, we
But-
have a different pocket here with the Hex Foodies group, with me and Finbear, and you know, like we just
cutting
don't we don't really want to be the people who are like out in front of the community. We just want to, I mean, speak for yourself, Finbear, but we just want to be here as a solid. We want to help people get to a better position in their lives. Like
Oh, that's
like,
true. Yeah.
fuck what you think season to season about Hex. Like we've already been in it for shit. I don't know how long for you, Finbear, but dude, I was waiting a
from the
year for Hex to
beginning, yeah.
launch.
Yeah, I was waiting forever.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, like
over there
Richard
on Paul
Hart
Wheaton's-
ruined poker for me. One evening, I was casually like fucking masturbating online, and that shit was rolling on the background, and he left some fucking seed in my head where he was like, maybe not spend all your time just grinding away poker. And I was back at that time, I was playing hard. I was fucking grinding like 13 hours a day playing poker.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he-
ruined it. Completely took the fun out of it. Even when I won, I was like, well, great. Now I got this to lose, and it's gonna like waiting for another disappointment. And it is a zero-sum game.
So many people
But-
have that same story with video games.
Oh yeah, I quit video games way before that already. But what I was thinking about regarding to what you said earlier is that we're getting a different type of a person into like the streaming community now, I see
Mhm.
there's a lot more. I see a lot more of the sort of the cool crowd, and not so many of the sort of the weirdos from the edge there. You know, that's sort of where I always felt more at home is with the freaking geeks.
I agree, man. It's like the UK group.
So
We've
I
got
don't
our own little
like
thing going
like
on
I'm
as well.
fine.
So.
I'm fine with not everybody liking what I have to say or liking my style. I'm not in this to rub anybody the wrong way, but that's fine. We can, everybody can be courteous and get along without being like the best of friends. We don't have to be like bosom buddies with everybody, but we can still get along.
We're still
That's
a
how I
team
see
whether
it.
we like
Yeah.
it or not, and like there's going to be people that you
Yeah.
like and don't like in
Yeah,
in
and
the
with
community, but-
everybody, I much rather like it. Or I much rather have them on my team than having to destroy them later.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
We've
Well, the
got
thing
like
is, the
20
community is
minutes.
expanding like crazy now, anyway, because of Pulse and everything coming. Like that's gonna.
Oh, that's gonna be wild. There's so many people
Hexaco is
who
gonna
have.
get much bigger.
There's so many people in the Pulse chat who have no idea about Hex. There's
Mm,
like
good point.
tens of thousands of people who are absolutely, or not maybe absolutely clueless, but they still lack the basic information to make like
Most of those guys are going to sell it like straight away if it launches at like a 10x or something. Most people will just get out there, and that's fine.
yeah, that's like they decide that that's the level of disappointment they want.
Look at the Hedron chart, and that's
Yeah, Donald, I had a different name back in the early days. Yeah.
You're responding to somebody in the chat.
Oh yeah, Donald is like he remembers chatting with me, but I had a different name, and I was just confirming I did back in.
I was under
back
my
in the day.
real name for a while. Then I created Hex Futures, and then I created Eco Builds. And the reason why I did Eco Build, Eco Builder, whatever, was because Hexologist got kicked off of YouTube. And so then we find ourselves following him over. The day of him getting kicked out, he had to create a new account somewhere else. So he did it over at DLive. And so every Hexagon was charged with creating a username there at DLive. And I came up with Eco Builder because it was sort of like my time to go into Anonymous or whatever instead of, my name or whatever. Oh gosh, I had something else like packaged and ready to say. It was something about like the
was
geeks
talking about the
versus the cool
yeah.
crowd.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
I think what's cool is like we're freaking solid within ourselves. So, all of these flows, these ebb and flows happening, we're not worried about it. We're just here.
Yeah, this is the first time
We're holding down the fort.
I don't think we're not even close to the bottom yet. Not by a long shot. There's so much more
the Hex
downside.
bottom?
No,
Wait, what are
not
we talking
Hex,
about?
but everything else like
Bitcoin and everything.
Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
so
Bitcoin
much more
bounced
pain
quite
to
well
come.
today. But
Yeah,
when
that's
I
just
look
a
at that
relief.
chart, there's
That's
nothing
just a
stopping
relief
it.
rally.
The
There's
reason
nothing
why I
stopping
wanted
it going all the way to like 10 grand again.
Yeah.
Richard's right about that.
The reason why I wanted to, it's pretty exciting. Like possibly we could sit there and brag about Richard calling 10K, 11K, whatever it was that he called.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought up Hedron was because like that chart right there is the worst that could happen with Pulse Chain, where like at the beginning it's all anticipation, and then there's huge amount of sell off, and then there's a good amount of time for people to grab and get in.
Yeah.
That was, if you look at the Hex chart after launch, it's quite similar to what happened with Hedron.
A lot of products that launch that have kind of market fit and a bit of hype around them, they kind of all do that right out of the gate. They have this like maybe not right out the gate, but at some point they have just like a moon and then they dip 90% and then they stay there for ages as well. Like there's a few charts I can think of that have done it. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Pulse Chain, but I don't think it will be a 13x that you get like from what we paid, but it'll probably be more like anywhere from like a 20 to like a 100x or something like that, which is going to be mental. But then it is going to go down like 90 odd percent and stay there for like anything upwards of 6 months, I would say. And that's going to be a sad time. So I think people, you know, I'm not saying people should sell, people should hodl it and whatever, but I am certainly looking for a profit taking opportunity in the first couple of months of it coming out, because I am very confident that once it's gone up that far, it's going to have a long way to come back down. And yeah, I think the Hedron chart is a very good example of like what Pulse might do. I just think it might do like double the amount of gains or maybe triple the amount of gains or something.
Well, but if we think about Hedron and Pulse Chain, there's like just the awareness of both of the projects is completely different. And the sort of the focus group for who the token is aimed towards completely different. So I don't think they're comparable in many aspects at all. I think
so. I was just pointing to the chart.
You might go like ballistic for a while, because you need to remember who did most of the sacrificing. It was Hexagons, like the most of it. Like I think like 80% or something is sacrificed hex.
What do you want to say about the chart, David?
Well, I was just pointing to the chart saying like, hey, look at the Hedron chart right where it is right now. Yesterday, somebody spent
Isn't it up like 50%?
And
that guy's up already like
50.
Yeah, he's up 50%.
So looking at the Hedron chart, you can kind of compare it to the Hex chart in the early days of how these launches look. And I'm just saying that's like the worst it could look. It could look completely different, like Maxi. Maxi doesn't look like that. Maybe it's on its way to looking like that, but I don't know. I think I think calling it a DAO is a really good explanation of what Maxi is. It's speculative on the upside of the Hex token. It's always going to be above the price of Hex, and then we're going to have this, the market, each person trying to like figure out, is it really worth that value?
It's almost like
quickly.
It's almost like a sentiment probe. Because if the sentiment is good, you'll see Maxi go up in price because people will be happier to pay the extra to get the Maxi, because it has already all the accrued tokens that they have inside every token.
But like people,
all the Hex they have already accrued into the contract.
People aren't going to hold. People aren't like, oh, I'm going to hold this for 15 years. Instead, it's like I want to make some money off of this, and so it's just this idea in there. But whenever we're talking about Pulse Chain, we can't not talk about Pulse X. We can't not talk about the other portions of the system that keep these tokens busy, that keep them from being sold out on a market where they're just going to sit in a pool.
Yeah,
Pulse X is going to go crazy eventually. I think if what you're saying is right about Pulse comes out the gate, goes up a lot, and then has a big dip. Red Squirrel was saying in the chat it won't drop 90%. I think I agree with him. I think more like an 80% dip also, because there's still going to be a tsunami of buy pressure. But if it does, I can't remember what my point was going to be now. Oh yeah, when it does dip back down, the Pulse X is going to catch up to it, is what I'm saying. And I think that Pulse X might actually start leading the charge after Pulse Chain does its big dip and does its big retrace. Maybe
Pulse X Pulse X is an end point, and Pulse is the mediator, the dumb pipe in the middle. So if it's gonna be somewhere, the value is gonna accrue at the end points, like Richard often says. So Hex, Pulse X, something else with a use case, the bridges perhaps, liquidity providing, and like that's where most of the value is gonna end up. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Pulse X is gonna do fine.
And the thing is, as well, you got to think mentality-wise. The people who are going to be buying Pulse X, when everyone is selling 10 to 1 or even worse Pulse X to get Pulse, right? Because that's probably what the ratios are
Oh,
going to end up
that'd
looking
be
like.
horrible. I
The
would maybe
people who
get
are
some.
buying the Pulse X have got much longer term thinking going on. You know, the people who are buying Pulse are looking for the get rich scheme in that. Either they just missed it, or they they think that one's going to go up more. And I think sentiment will shift in the future, and Pulse X might end up being the more valuable one because it's got the built-in buy and burn thing. And I just think it's actually got more bullish sentiment to it than Pulse Chain does. Pulse Chain actually needs like a ton of new people coming in all the time. Pulse X doesn't really need that. It just needs volume going through on the exchange, and that could be mostly ARB bots. It doesn't really matter to us. Just needs volume.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but we haven't yet seen everything that architect Richard Hart is creating. You know, there's gonna be aspects that come out there at the last minute that, you know, we're gonna have to factor in as Hexicans. He's going to make an amazing situation all tied in like a puzzle.
I think
It's gonna
Hex
be
is still
wild.
going to reign supreme long term. In terms of
Absolutely.
yield
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be buying like any time that I make like massive like gains XYs in anything. I'm gonna consider getting more T-shares. Absolutely.
Yeah, like half of any like profits I make on, like, say if I want to take cash out, like if I want to take fiat out into the real world, whatever I'm going to take out, I will also make a purchase of the same amount in Hex and then stake it for a bit at the same time. Just like that will be the thing that I'm still trying to get T-shares long term. I think there's going to be a play on Pulse to swap Pulse for Hex. There's going to be a ratio that comes about that's going to be phenomenal. And that's kind of what I'm potentially looking at doing, is getting some more Hex with my Pulse.
Any way you can get your hands on cheap T-shirts is great.
Exactly.
Hey, Bastard, what are you thinking would be an opportune ratio that you're talking about? What ratio are you looking for?
Well, if you think about it, you get 10,000 coins to $1. Currently, $1 gets you 5 Hex, let's call it. Yeah, just for math reasons. So if you could get for the same, say like the 10,000 Pulse per dollar, if you could get something like, I don't know, 20 or 100 Hex, and like anything above 50 Hex for like the $1 that you paid is kind of a good trade.
What's that ratio?
Fucking hell, now you're asking. 5,000 to 1, I believe. So Pulse would have to be at like
5,000 Hex or 5,000?
Oh no,
5,000.
sorry.
Pulse?
So say like 10,000 Pulse got you 50 to 100 Hex or above, something like that. That'd be a pretty good ratio, I think. But I'm not really sure.
So that would be 1 to 100.
Yeah. So if you could get like 100 Hex to the dollar, like for what you paid Pulse wise. So like say you put $1 into Pulse and then you want to swap that entire dollar's worth of value for Hex later on down the line. And if that could get you, say, like 100 Hex, whereas right now $1 gets you 5 Hex. So you're going to make a 20x there. That's like a 20x. So that would put the price at like 2/100ths of a penny. Sorry, 2/10ths of a penny. 2/10ths of a penny. If the price was that in dollars and the Hex price was the same, so like on launch it should be like, oh fucking hell, my math's so bad. 2,000 to 1 roughly, I think, is what you should be paying. So if you can get that number down and it was like 100 or 200 to 1, something along those lines, that'd be crazy, man. Like imagine if you managed to get like a 10 to 1 ratio when you Pulse. So
I totally am eyeing P-Hex. I got giggly yesterday because I was thinking like I have the capabilities of going from a dolphin to a shark if I play my shit right.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
like got a little giggly yesterday. Like, oh, like this is possible.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
It's a long way out of the crab zone, you know. It's fucking
Mm.
hard to get out of the crab, man.
No, yeah,
But
the
yeah,
thing
I'm with
is,
you, man.
you-
If I
you-
could
yeah,
get a
you-
million
you-
hex, I'd be fucking like I'd sell half my pulse bag for a million hex, man.
Oh
Like,
man.
crazy.
no, you don't have to.
You know what's crazy is
I think
crabs in a
I
barrel.
think
Have y'all
like-
ever heard that before?
What's that? Sorry.
Crabs in a barrel?
yeah, they
Where
pull- buddy is trying to make its way to freedom. The other one's fucking grab its leg and pull it back into the bucket. Don't you go anywhere.
you can stack crabs all the way to the top of a barrel because the asshole below the you've got the first layer, exactly what Finbear was saying. You got the first layer of crabs that are almost out of the barrel, and then the second layer of crabs are bringing them back in.
Yeah,
Can never get out of that freaking barrel.
yeah.
So I wonder if that's any sort of an analogy for where you are in Crabland.
Yeah, maybe. But
That's
I mean,
funny.
everyone's got their own like sort of personal targets. I've got like
Totally.
I've got targets in Hex that I want to achieve, and then I've got targets in Fiat that I want to get. Oh, sorry, I've just banged my mic. I've got targets in Fiat land that I want to get out, but then I also want to keep like 90% of my pulse and my pulse X bag just staked and forgotten about
Yeah.
for a few years. So, but if I can,
That's
if I
the
can make
key.
plays with that other
2 years.
10%, yeah,
The
it's
key
Let
like-
that
is-
shit sit
The
for 2
key
years.
is to keep your stinking hands out of the best tokens you've ever bought for the cheapest you're ever gonna get them. And we're gonna do it together. We're gonna be planting trees. We're gonna be making jams. We're gonna be I'm gonna be planting potatoes. We're gonna do also. I'm gonna be splitting rocks, guys. You're gonna get to see that. My mate is gonna hook me up with like a electric hammer drill. I'm gonna be
That's
splitting.
sweet.
Yeah, we're gonna be splitting rocks the size of fucking sofas.
You gonna make some terraces or what?
I'm gonna maybe make the foundation for the outside kitchen thing I was talking about
Oh,
earlier.
sweet.
Would be cool to have like big boulders, like natural boulders.
You and me
I'm
are
just
gonna
gonna-
have an outdoor kitchen race.
Yeah, sure.
I'm working on the same thing.
Awesome. Hexy can spot me. But
Hey,
guys,
You
I gotta
guys
go
sign
and
us
put
off.
my coffee.
Yeah, do
I'm
it.
gonna, see you guys next week. This has been yet another presentation of Hex Foodies. I don't know why you guys are here, but usually I like food. I like food security. If you think food is an important issue in your life or the life of your family, you may want to take long and considerate looks at what is going on in the world and maybe start preparing for some shit to hit the fan. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.